Yeah, so let's go through a little bit of what we do at Enginuity and how we've become an Opto 22 partner and where we see things going from here. So just to sort of go through what will be in the presentation here, we'll touch base on the company's, the description and the capability of Enginuity, the geography and the markets that we service, and some applications completed using Opto 22, the fun stuff. So let's start at Enginuity Inc. So our company profile here, we're an engineering consultant firm based in Nova Scotia, Canada, out on the East Coast. We're a company based around solving complex technical challenges. We're never sitting still. We never solve the same problem twice. At least I haven't seen it. We're solving anything from product development all the way to multi-conveyor, multi-robot solutions, all the way from the ground up. And we were created 17 years ago in our president's basement. Ben created it out of his basement, and now we're 30 plus people 17 years later. So it's been a wild ride for sure. Services. So what we offer here at Enginuity, we offer product development. That's creating a product from the ground up. Consulting in patent and how to develop, how to bring things to market. Industrial design, mechanical engineering, and electronics engineering and fabrication. So we're able to do PCB design and fabrication in-house. And then my department, we do automation, robotics, and SCADA design and complete integration of the solutions. Some of the sectors that we work in would include aerospace and defense, food and beverage, manufacturing, marine and ocean tech, and medical. We actually have a sub-company called FIVA Med as a invention that was created, and it's pretty neat. It can monitor intravenous flow, so through like an IV line, and send alarms when there's an issue. So all over when it comes to sectors, and there's always new ones coming up every day too. So my department is automation and robotics. So some of what I've seen since I've been here in my short year and a half would include material handling using robots and conveyors, complex machine vision, so 2D and 3D, in things such as quality control, grading, 3D bin picking, stuff like that. Robotics, all types of robots. We have 5, I think, in the shop, deltas, 6 axes. We've done lots of that. Machine monitoring with a lot of Opto 22 devices that I'll get into further, but things like the Rio. Complete system design and integration. We specialize in that all the way from, as I said, the beginning to the end. And SCADA solutions too as well. And I'll talk about that further down the presentation. Geography and markets. So where do we fit in and where do we see ourselves going? So in regards to industrial automation, which is what I know in the sector of the business, we're actively servicing Atlantic Canada. That includes New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and all the guys out here. But we are actively looking to move into other parts of Canada and the United States as well. And programming, conceptual design, what we specialize in can be done worldwide. So we're never opposed to having a customer call us up from anywhere and say, hey, do you think this would work? And that's our specialty. So we would, as I said, go out and play with one of the 5 robots or play with an Epic that we have on our test bench or a Rio, program it, make it happen and send you guys or whoever the customer is the code. So that is always an option too. Enginuity's Opto 22 specific capabilities. So what I would say we've done with Opto 22 devices the most would include integration and design using Node-RED, OSI, Pi, and Rio collaboration. So OSI being the backend SCADA solution, and Rio being obviously the Opto 22 device. Ignition SCADA solutions. So we've done a few of those. We're certified as well. The Rio system and design and integration is what I would say we have done the most with thus far, and what I personally, I wouldn't say like the most, but where I see fitting into a lot of places, especially out here in Nova Scotia, where there's a lot of older machines, and there's not the budget or the need to replace the machine. So what's the next best thing? Well, make it smart, add sensors in good places, and get IoT out of old, sometimes 100-year-old machines. And epic programming. So that's one thing we are working on a lot as we speak, developing more in CodeSys, looking at an epic to control a robot, things like that. So those are all things we've done and what we're working on going forward. And we'll touch base on the Opto 22 projects that we have done that I can disclose. We'll touch base on those quick. So CNC Mill Monitoring solution. This came out of the need for it, honestly, and the fact that we had a Rio and I wanted to play with it. So it sort of all came together. And this is actually sitting in the shop as we speak. So what it does is we have a CNC mill. As I said, we do it all. So we mill our own parts. We do all of that as well when it comes to concepting and prototyping. So we have this fairly, I would say, advanced mill in a sense, but it lacks sensors to monitor things such as, in this case, vibration, temperature, current, all of those little things that could allude to, more of a problem. So we went ahead and added it on there. What we did in this one sense here is we also pushed that data to an OSI Pi server. We also set up emails that could be set based on certain threshold values. Your vibration's too much, your temperature's too hot, your current's too great, certain things like that. And what we went ahead and did is we also displayed that data in two ways. Grafana, which is a good, nice front end for OSI Pi. But what I think is more versatile is Node-RED. So running on the Rio, running a node, local Node-RED instance to display, to send the emails, to do really everything that OSI Pi could do, but running on board. Here's a little rough block diagram layout. So pretty simple. And once again, this is only something I can show you. We've worked on other cooler stuff, but just, take this and multiply it out in your head. But what we did here is we had a vibration sensor, current sensor, temperature sensor, as I said, but you get to see, them kind of sitting on the machine fairly roughly. It was a proof of concept, but so there you go. You see it, the Opto 22 configured to do, analog inputs and scaled properly. Quick little layout here as well of the approximate, function really. So as I said, Opto 22 running Node-RED, posting through our network to the OSI Pi using REST, and then sending emails and also displaying using Grafana. Quick little review of the email and how it was formulated. Basic stuff, just where we put certain things and how those variables would change. And, it would send an alarm to whoever's interested. So, the obvious extension of this is you would see this in a plant. As I said, a big machine, often like a lathe, let's say, and this would send an alarm to an executive or maintenance personnel that would, go and fix it. The dashboard. So this is what we had, displaying the actual data in live time. And this is the 7-day trend here. And it's also, as mentioned here, mobile and tablet friendly. So that was nice, being able to pull it up on your phone. Time range 3 minutes, a little zoomed in version. pretty basic stuff, but it shows the principles of what the technology can do. And then here's the Node-RED dashboard too. So something we threw together, using Node-RED, which is, as I said, good. It's open source. It's good for smaller stuff. It's not going to be your full SCADA solution, but it will, work on these smaller scale applications here. And as I show here, it's open source. It supports a lot of PLCs. So really happy that the Rio puts it on board. What did we do? Yeah, so kind of covered it here. Just some basic fundamental things we did, connecting to an SQL server, email alerting, real-time dashboards. So, I think it's a nice example of what can be seen in multiple plants. I'm sure everybody who's listening could think of one thing that they would like to know more about from a data standpoint. And we'll touch base quick. This is a little bit more kind of to do with ignition, but I included it because I could, and there's only a limited amount of those. And also, of course, Opto 22 out of the box is supporting Ignition Edge, and it has a really good partnership with them. So I just wanted to quickly highlight an example of an Ignition SCADA solution that we have done. And you can sort of think about how that would fit into your next integration, how the data, there's no reason why all of this data couldn't be captured using a Rio or an Epic or something along those lines. So I thought I would include it. As mentioned, it was Ignition. Here's a little dashboard. So what our customer appreciated the most out of this is this line, which is actually what we did. So everything you're seeing here was done by us, designed and integrated, and all of the programming along with it. So you get all of the data, you get a high level overview, and it's a nice example of what Ignition, partnered with Opto 22 could do. A little zoomed in version, we had a robot arm and we were pulling data, and it was really nice to see, really good for testing, really shows the power of what a SCADA solution could offer you when it comes to detailed stuff. Once again, more detailed, temperature, current, power, basically the machine health of what's going on. Those parameters can tell you a lot. And what I find quite powerful is reports. So in this case, a shift production report, but it could be uptime, it could be, anything really. But this gives you a nice snapshot of the previous day, sent to the proper person at the end of the day via email. Here's how we did, right? So a nice little example of that. We added in messaging. So if somebody wanted to, if they needed maintenance on their machine, they would fill this out, click send, somebody would get a notification, probably me, and then, it would say, I need maintenance scheduled at X time. And this was actually our first go at the perspective, so the mobile version of Ignition. So this was, able to get pulled up on your phone, and this is a quick little overview of inventory management that we added in. So you could actually, on your phone, pull it up and say, I've got XYZ part, add, and it adds it to your database. And yeah, little, very high level, we connected to a database. We could access this anywhere, custom reporting, all of the stuff that we went through, sort of summarized here. And going forward, so where I see us going and where we're already starting to go, is more Epic control system and HMI programming work. I've got the guys working on it now, really trying to stretch that and sort of see where we can take it. Of course, further code sys development naturally goes hand in hand. Additional Rio integrations and designs, we have lots of those down the pipe. We've been quoting them. There's interest out here, and I would imagine most places too. Node-RED out of the box and custom solutions too. So Node-RED's great, but we're developing our own custom stuff to go on top of that. and also multiple systems and SCADA design and integration. So another big thing that's coming, especially out here, is SCADA and getting data insights to go along with the automation that we're putting in. So that's basically it, I would say. You know, it gives you guys a nice little overview of what we can do, what we've done, how we fit in with Opto 22. If you guys want to contact us, here's the info. info@enginuityinc.ca. The phone number's here, address. If you want to reach out on LinkedIn, I'm on there, Nathan Field. Feel free to add me and we can talk about all your fun automation projects. So yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.